Now, most DJs already know the basic scratches, but they still sound stiff, messy, or just off. And the thing is, it's not because you don't know enough scratch techniques. It's because nobody ever teaches you the real stuff, the things that will actually make your scratching sound professional. My name is Blakey, I'm a former DMC champion, and today I want to show you 3 simple scratching cheat codes that will instantly make your scratches sound cleaner, funkier, and way more pro. And honestly, these cheat codes could make more difference to your scratching than learning 10 new scratch techniques. Let's get straight into it. Now, the first cheat code is about being funky and not robotic. Being stiff and robotic with your scratching, that is the quickest way to make sure that your scratches don't sound good. Most DJs will take the scratch technique that they're practicing, let's say it's the chirp scratch, and they will simply perform it over and over again with no swing, no variation, and not applying any funk. When you're practicing your scratching, you never have to perform your scratches perfectly in time and perfectly on grid. In fact, the best scratch DJs, they do the opposite of that. They inject musicality, flow, looseness, and groove into their scratches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play an instrumental on this deck, and I'm going to perform some chirp scratches, and I'm going to intentionally try and keep my scratches loose and funky. Trust me, if your scratching is sounding repetitive and stiff, then this is the cheat code that's going to help you out the most. And by the way, if you would like to download all of these scratch samples that I'm using throughout this video for free, then just hit the second link in the description, type in your email, and I'll send them to your inbox. And by the way, if you would like to go deeper with this stuff, the musical side of scratching, the timing, the flow, the creativity, then I've made a full course called the Ultimate Scratching Course. Let me show you inside. So once you get access to the course, you get a bunch of videos with these modules on the left-hand side. You've got a module for every single scratch technique from the baby all the way up to the boomerang. And crucially, inside each module for each scratch technique, I not only give you the tutorial so that you can learn exactly how to perform that scratch technique, but I've also made a video showing how you can create unique patterns with each scratch technique. And this is super important for ensuring that your scratching doesn't sound repetitive and robotic. Each scratch technique module also comes with a Q&A session where I will perform various patterns of that scratch technique and then leave a gap so that you could scratch alongside me, essentially giving you a real-time scratch training partner. Now, if this sounds like something that would help you out, the link is in the description. If not, no problem at all. Okay, cheat code number 2. This cheat code is all about using silence as a weapon in your scratching. I see most scratch DJs just scratch continuously and constantly, and they don't leave any silences just to let the scratches breathe a bit. And I think this is so important and so overlooked. I'm going to play this instrumental and show you how you can leave silences between pieces of scratching. Now I'm going to let this play and we're going to count along for 8 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what we're going to do is we're only going to scratch through numbers 2 to 6. For the rest of the loop, we're going to leave silence and not do any scratching at all. And each time I'm going to perform a different scratch technique. We're going to use transformers, chirps, stabs, and crab scratches. And hopefully you will hear how much it improves the sound of the scratching when you just leave a little gap. This is exactly why professional musicians who play instruments don't just play continuously, they leave pockets of silence. Let's take a listen. cheat code number 3 is all about relaxing your hands to unlock flow. This one is so important because if you have tense and stiff hands, you're never ever going to be able to get that fluidity and that smoothness that will make your scratches sound clean. Let me show you what a transformer scratch sounds like with stiff hands on the record and the crossfader. You can see my hand right there is tensed up. And believe me, I've taught a lot of scratch DJs in the past face to face, and this is actually very common. A lot of aspiring scratch DJs think to move the fader super quick, you have to really grip that fader. And trust me, this is not true at all. What you actually need is a really relaxed hand on that crossfader so that when you move the fader, you have this fluidity with your movement. This is so important. And here's a great way of practicing that. So on the free scratch tool that I mentioned at the start of this video that you can download for free by clicking the second link in the description, sample number 5 is a continuous tone, which sounds like this. Now, the reason this is useful for this drill is you can concentrate on moving the fader and not actually touch the jog wheel. So we're just going to focus on getting that loose and fluid motion in the hand. So what we need to do is rest our thumb against the crossfader, and this will keep the crossfader closed at all times. And then we're going to use our index finger and our middle finger to just tap the fader on like that. And it's so important to keep your hand as loose as possible. So thumb against the fader, tap the fader on like this. And you'll notice that I'm not really applying much pressure whatsoever with my thumb. My thumb is acting as a natural spring. I'm not pushing the fader closed. I'm simply resting my thumb against the fader. The more relaxed you make your fader hand right now with this drill, the quicker you're going to level up your scratching. Because as you start to progress to more difficult, complex scratch techniques, the dexterity that those techniques require actually become way easier if you have a nice relaxed hand. So let's just practice this fader movement a few more times. You only need to move the fader the tiniest amount to turn the sound on. So the more energy you put into the fader movement, the more wasted energy there actually is, because we only need to move the fader the tiniest amount. So now I will demonstrate some transformer scratches and show you what the transformer scratch can sound like if you have a nice, relaxed, fluid motion in your hands. Let's take a listen. Most DJs learning to scratch, they think that speed comes from tension, but it's actually the opposite. The lighter your touch on your controller or your turntables, the cleaner your flow will sound. Relaxation in the hands is the hidden ingredient behind every pro scratch DJ that you admire. So when you're practicing, really focus on keeping your hand on the jog wheel and on the fader as loose and relaxed as possible. If you found this video useful and you want to dive into my ultimate scratching course, then the link is in the description. And if not, no problem. I have an entire playlist right here with more in-depth scratching tutorials for you to dive into. Click that link.